Rise to speak to you today about the plight of the Korean truck drivers working for Pulumon, a South Korean company. The Korean Public Service and Transport Workers Union, KPTU Truck Seoul Pulumon chapter, have been striking since September, calling on Pulumon to take responsibility for union recognition, safety and decent conditions in its supply chain. For the past month, two members have been carrying out a peaceful, high-altitude protest atop a billboard toward the front of the National Assembly building in Seoul. Pulumon's excessive efforts to cut costs means drivers are working 12 to 13 hours a day delivering fresh goods all over the country. By forcing drivers to engage in dangerous driving practices, this has led to accidents and put the public at risk. Pressure on drivers in South Korea is intense, with around 1,200 dying each year in truck-related crashes. The company pressures them to illegally alter their trucks so that they can overload. Overloading of trucks causes 38% of truck-related crashes. In addition, excessive workforce cuts mean drivers now take care of loading and unloading themselves in spite of the significant dangers involved. They frequently become injured or ill as a result of the difficult work and long hours, but Pulumon drivers have to cover all their own hospital bills. One worker said recently, and I quote him here, "One of our members fell out of a forklift unloading boxes. They said to him, 'If you want to keep your job, you better be out of treatment soon.'" This fight is part of the KPTU Truck Seoul's decade-long struggle for safe rates and client responsibility. It all sounds too familiar, doesn't it? The Safe Rates campaign that TW has been running for many years now is an incredibly important campaign. The Transport Workers Union has been fighting for the past 20 years for truckies to have safe rates. It is a campaign to hold the effective employers of the industry, the clients with the real economic power at the top of the supply chain, responsible for the rights, rates and conditions of the workers who move their freight. Drivers under pressure due to low rates or impossible deadlines are more likely to skip breaks, speed, drive for longer, and to drive rigs that have not been properly maintained. Truckies in this country are 15 times more likely to be killed at work than is the average Australian. Each year, around 330 people are killed in truck crashes on the Australian roads and thousands more are injured. The passage of the Road Safety Remuneration Act 2012 by Labor and the establishment of the Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal demonstrated legislative acceptance of the need to address the safety crisis. The TW leadership, led by the National Secretary Tony Sheldon, knows the fight of the KPTU and its truck drivers is a fight for all truck drivers. Recently, the International Labour Organisation reaffirmed the global fight for safe rates and that the Pulumon drivers' protest is essentially the same everywhere. A resolution passed by the ILO on the issue also recognises the need for fair and safe remuneration systems and highlights that road transport workers in freight and passenger transport have, and I quote the motion here, some of the highest injury and fatality rates. It states that the, quote, multiple supply and contracting chains in the road transport industry often lead to pressure on margins that can leave transport workers unable to exercise their fundamental principles and rights at work. The global trade unions, the International Trade Union Confederation and the International Transport Workers Federation have condemned events in South Korea against transport workers and have mobilised their global networks of affiliated unions to protest the Korean government. Today I stand united with the TWU and KPTU, calling on the Korean government to stop repressing KPTU Truck Seoul Pulumon drivers, including releasing the imprisoned union members and officers. Further, the Korean government should facilitate negotiations between Pulumon and the workers towards a just settlement to the dispute. We want the Korean government to respect the rights to freedom of association, including the right to peaceful assembly, and to strike for all workers. For these drivers, no other issue could be as important.